Let's dive into one of the most musically and poetically powerful chapters of the Quran, Surah Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. It's a chapter that's famous for its sheer beauty, but its real power, its core, is a single, haunting question that it asks over and over again. And here it is. This one line appears 31 times, and it really acts as the very heartbeat of the chapter. What's fascinating is that it's speaking to two audiences at once. To us, humankind, and to the jinn, challenging both with the same profound question. But you gotta ask, why repeat it so many times? So this is the big mystery we're gonna unpack. It's not just for poetic flair, you know? The way this question is placed and how its meaning shifts depending on the context reveals this incredibly deep, structured argument about mercy, about creation, and about consequences. So what are these favors it keeps talking about?
Well, the surah doesn't start on Earth. It starts way out in the cosmos. It begins by painting this picture of a universe that's built on perfect, meticulous order and balance. And it presents this grand design as the very first category of divine favors.
Now this line seems so simple, right? The sun and moon exist, they move. Got it. But the key is that word calculation. This establishes a universe that isn't just random or chaotic, but one that's governed by precise, predictable, reliable laws. This cosmic clockwork, the sun rising and setting without fail, is framed as a foundational gift. And boom, right after establishing this perfect cosmic order, the refrain hits for the very first time. The text is basically asking, can you honestly look up at the perfect balance of the heavens and deny that it's a favor from your Lord? It's a direct challenge, asking us to acknowledge the mercy that's literally woven into the fabric of the universe.
Okay, so from the vastness of space, the camera, so to speak, zooms right in on our own world. And here it highlights this theme of duality and balance that's happening right here on Earth.
And this idea of duality is so central. The surah reminds its two audiences, that's us and the jinn, of their totally different origins. One from clay, solid and earthly. The other from a smokeless fire, ethereal and unseen. Two completely different beings, sharing the same world, and both being asked the very same question. And the theme just keeps growing with this incredible image of duality and balance, the meeting point of freshwater and saltwater. You have these two massive bodies of water that touch, but because of their different densities, they don't mix. It's this amazing natural phenomenon presented as another self-evident miracle, a tangible favor that's working by divine decree. So, you see the pattern here? After pointing out the dual creation of life and this miraculous barrier between the seas, the refrain comes back. The argument is building. First, the cosmos, now the earth. The evidence of divine favor is all around us, in every single system that makes life possible. So it asks again, can you deny these? And just when you're getting comfortable in this beautiful rhythm of blessings and reminders, the tone shifts. Dramatically. We go from this feeling of awe and wonder, and we're suddenly thrown into a really solemn, powerful warning about accountability. The imagery here is just wow. It's so intense. The same perfectly calculated heaven we just admired is now described as splitting apart, melting, turning this fiery crimson color. That perfect order, which was presented as a favor, is shown to be temporary. This is the imagery of Judgment Day.
At this point, accountability becomes absolutely inescapable. The surah says that on that day, those who denied all the favors won't even need to be questioned. Their denial will be written all over their faces. The whole conversation shifts from blessings to the direct consequences of being ungrateful.
And the text doesn't hold back at all. It gets incredibly direct, naming the consequence explicitly. The very thing they spent their lives denying is presented right in front of them as a stark reality. And this makes the refrain that follows all the more powerful. Can you feel how different that question feels now? It's not just a gentle invitation to be grateful anymore. Placed here, in the context of judgment, it becomes this sobering warning. To deny the favors is to deny the reality of this moment of reckoning. The favor here is the warning itself, the chance to change course before it's too late. But the surah doesn't end with a warning. It's all about balance. It balances that description of punishment with an equally vivid and beautiful description of the ultimate reward for those who actually acknowledge the favors.
We move from the fire of hell to the lush greenery of paradise.
And the description is so rich you can almost picture it. Not just one garden, but two, signifying this incredible abundance. There are flowing springs and every kind of fruit you can imagine, presented in pairs, which echoes that theme of duality we saw back on Earth. This is the ultimate payoff for a life of gratitude.
The poetic language just keeps flowing. The rewards are described using images of precious gems, rubies and coral, which are symbols of purity, beauty, and incredible value. It's such a stark contrast to the earlier images of fire and molten skies. This is a reality of absolute peace and beauty.
And here, in this final context, the refrain lands with this sense of triumphant finality. After this whole journey through creation, judgment, and now paradise, the question serves as a confirmation of God's promise. Being in this garden is the ultimate favor, the final proof of divine mercy. So, let's bring it all back. We've seen this one question act as a gentle reminder, then a stark admonition, and finally, a triumphant confirmation. Let's look at the central line that holds this entire beautiful chapter together.
Hearing it one last time, after seeing all the evidence laid out, from the stars in their orbits all the way to the gardens of paradise, the question just feels heavier, you know? It feels more profound. It isn't really asking for an itemized list, it's getting at something much, much deeper.
And that brings us to the final thought. The Surah presents all of creation, all of existence, as a series of incredible gifts. But by repeating this question 31 times, it seems to be implying something more. Maybe the ability to recognize these things as favors, the gift of awareness, of consciousness, of gratitude itself, is actually the greatest favor of all. Which of these, then, will you deny?